ready to do that. I want to start our drama ministry back up. I appreciate Mark coming down and being part of that. So I'm sure if you'd like to be a part of the drama team, talk to Ray Eddie, and she'll get you involved in that. All right. I've had one of them mornings, Mark. You know how you have those mornings when you forget what you're supposed to be doing and you didn't know where these coming or going? And I had one of those, and I started off, I forgot all about giving the announcements. At 11, I usually come up here about 2 minutes to 11 and do announcements. I forgot to do that. But it started off at 9:45. I was supposed to be at the altar to pray, and someone come to my office, and I forgot about that. And I feel like such an idiot, I'll just be honest with you. I completely forgot about coming to the altar. How can a pastor forget about praying? Forgive me, Lord. I'm so sorry. God, thank Chris, and you had someone else with you too, Amy, right? Amy. So we thank you guys for praying. Hey, today I'm going to start a little series called this right here. Tyler, throw that first slide up for me. This is what we're doing. How good is good enough? How good is good enough? How good is good enough? In fact, next week, I'm going to give everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody, I'm going to give each household one of these books. It's called How Good is Good Enough. And I'm preaching from this series, preaching from this book. I'll give each household, husband and wife, a book. I want you to read it. I want you to read it, and then I want you to hand it off to someone else. And after you listen to the sermon series and after you read the book, literally, it'll take less than 2 hours to read this book. You can sit down and just go right through it. It's easy to read. It's by Andy Stanley, Charles Stanley's son. Great book. And like I said, we'll have that for each family member. Each family. So, I love the drama. I love how talk ties in with everything we're talking about. But listen to this. In a recent survey, Tyler, let's see this next one. In a recent survey, do you believe this? 90% of all Americans believe that there's a heaven. That means even in this room right here, if we were talking about it and people were digging down deep, we kind of think, okay, there is a heaven, and hopefully you're sitting in here and you go, yes, there is a heaven, Pastor. I read God's word and there is heaven. But there is a heaven. 90% of Americans believe that. Okay? But this next slide, you'll find kind of ironic if you look at it. If you look at the next slide, Tyler, let's see what that one says. 30% of Americans believe that there's a hell. But almost nobody of that 30% believes they're going there. It's like, oh, I'm not going there. I'm not going to go to hell. There is a hell, but, that's for really bad people. And so I'm not going there. I'm not really sure who's all going in there. So 30%, 90%, my question is, which one are you? Which one are you? Are you part of the 90%? Are you part of the 30%? Are you part of the people that we just don't even know the complete number of who is going to go to hell or not? So I want to start off with prayer and we'll jump into God's word, okay? Let's pray. Father God, I come to you right now, Father, as we open this series, Father. This touches so many lives. God, it just speaks to us. Father, I'm praying right now that you would just speak to our hearts, speak to our minds. Father, just calm our thoughts. Maybe our homes are in a fighting mess. Maybe our stress level is at 95. Father, help us just to focus right now on your word and what it says, so we are truly committed to you. Father, I pray for those individuals that we're going to put these books into the hands of. Father, that you prepare the hearts even now. Start working and soften it as they read the words. Father, they might give their life to Christ. Father, we love you and we thank you. We ask in Jesus' name. Amen. You got your Bible with you today? I love seeing the Bible going up all across the room. Man, this is awesome. Okay, man cannot live by bread alone. Do we really believe that?
Yes.
Today I asked Stacy and Pam, they asked for committed badges. And I was just playing around. And, by the way, go ahead and turn your Bibles to Revelation 21. And I was looking at him, and I said, "Are you committed badge worthy?" And Stacy's like, "Yeah." I said, "No, are you committed badge worthy?" She goes, "I'm committed badge worthy." I was like, "Okay, here you go." I gave her a badge. Did the same thing to Pam. Turn to Revelation 21. If you go to the end of the book there, Revelation 21, verses 1 through 7. 1 through 7. Remember, 90%, I want you to remember that. 90% of all Americans, that means those who are lost, those who are saved, 90% of all Americans believe that there's a heaven. 90%. Look what it says here. Revelation 21, verse 1 through 7. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth passed away. And there's no longer any sea. And I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, made ready as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Behold, the tabernacle of God is among men, and he will dwell among them, and they shall be his people, and God himself will be among them. And he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and there will be no longer any death. There will no longer be any mourning, or crying, or pain. The first things have passed away." And he who sits on the throne said, "Behold, I am making all things new." And he said, "Write, for these words are faithful and true." Then he said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give to the one who thirsts from the spring of water of life without cost. He who overcomes will inherit these things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son." Man, doesn't that sound awesome? Isn't that where we want to go? Okay, so here's the thing. 90% of all Americans believe that there's a heaven. And that, we start thinking about, all right, how do we get there? In fact, if you go read in the book, there's a story where a Sunday school teacher was talking to her children, and she was going to just talk to them about how does a person get to heaven? How does a person get there? She started asking questions, and little hands started going up. Well, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. And then the little boy in the back, once you hear what his response was, you'll know that child, okay? Little boy in the back puts his hands up, and she goes, "Okay, what do you think it takes to get to heaven?" He goes, "You got to die." You got to die. Unfortunately, he's 100% correct. Okay, so here's the thing. As we understand these things, that if the little boy is right, you got to die to get to heaven. Most Americans want to see Jesus, they just don't want to see him today. We don't want to have to die to get there. It's kind of like, okay, because here's the thing, and I want you to understand that when it comes to getting to heaven, once we die, what we've done on this side dictates where we're going to go on the other side. If we wait till then and we figure out we're wrong, we're in trouble. Amen. So, what does it take for a person to get to heaven? Well, we know that the majority of all religions, the majority of all religions believe that there is a heaven, and what we do on this side is going to tell what we do on the other side. How do we get there? How good's good enough? How good's good enough? So if we were to ask the people around to fill out this next question. Tyler, throw that out there for me. In order to get to heaven, we have to do what? In order to get to heaven, we have to do what? Most people, unfortunately, believe that we have to do good. The good has to outweigh the bad. Okay, I'm a pretty good person. The guy next to me, pretty good person. The guy the house behind me, pretty good person. They're all pretty good, and what we think is the way we treat people, the way we act, is that we be good enough that our good will outweigh the bad. And we see God up there, and he's got his magic marker, and he goes, "Okay, there's Tony Lambert. He's done good. All right. Tony Lambert did bad. Whoa. Okay. Hey, Tony Lambert had a bad thought. Whoa." And I started thinking, I need to catch up some good things, and so I need to start doing some better things. So I started doing some good. And I get up there, and I stand before God, and I look, and he goes, "All right, Tony, here's your thing. 1,578, 1,430. Welcome in. Your good outweighed your bad." And that's what, unfortunately, what some people think. That our good has to outweigh our bad in order to get to heaven. You look at the major religions and talk about what happens on this side. They all think the same thing. What we do on this side dictates where we go. Let's just think about ourselves for a second. Let's just pause. Just answer this question. Isn't God good?
Amen.
So when we hear Christians say that all the time, God's good all the time, and everybody else says, all the time. So a good God would never send a good person to hell. Isn't that what we tell them? We say it all the time. God's so good. God would never send a good person to hell. Yeah. There's a problem with that. If you were just to think, okay, what do you yourself, have to do in order to get to heaven? What would it be? What would it be? How sure are you that good enough, that you're good enough? As in the skit, see Red up there, she didn't figure it out till way into her marriage, till that skit, that she wasn't good enough. By the time we stand before God, if we're not good enough, we got a problem. It's too late. We're going to be told to go somewhere else. How confident are you in the relationship with God right now? Because here's the thing. I've talked to Christians. I've been in the church. Even in this church, I've had people say, hey, I sure hope I've done good enough to get to heaven. Hey, I sure hope I'm going to heaven. Hey, some of the dear saints within churches all across the world use that word, hope. I sure hope I'm going to go to heaven. Hey, I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that. And this week and next week, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the reason why. Okay? Because if I'm thinking that God's a good God, He doesn't send good people to hell, then that's a dangerous assumption. I'm assuming that a good God's going to let me in just on my acts. What if I miss my one point? What if I just barely missed the cut? What if I just could have done one more good thing and then I worked my whole life and I found out I fall 1 point shy? Too late. Once I'm dead, I can't go back and fix it. Life tells us that you do good, you get good results. Okay? You go to school, you do good in class, you get to go to the next grade. Johnny's doing really good. He's tagged, talented and gifted. He going on to the next class. He's awesome. Okay? And then what about, hey, we're going to have tryouts for cheerleading. We're going to have tryouts for volleyball, baseball. Well, we've got tryouts. Hey, you do good out there in your tryouts. Guess what? You make the team. Hey, guess what? You do good at your job? Well, I got to tell you there, Susie, you're doing wonderful at your job. You made a 4 out of 5. You get a pay raise, and I'm telling you, good job. Keep bringing the money in for the company. Everything's good. You did good. If you don't do good, guess what they say? Been nice working with you. See, isn't that the way it works? And so the light tells us you do good, you get good things in return. Light tells us that. And so if that's the way it is, then God has to be the same way. You do good, you do good. You get good. Is God really a good God? All right, hold on. Let's ask this question. If God is really a good God, how's your life going? How's your life going? Is your life good? Because here's what happens. And I can't count the number of times that I've had to answer this question, and it'll roll into another sermon series later on. But let me tell you this. How many times have I heard someone say, well, if God's really a good God, then why did this happen in my life? If God's really a good God, then why did this happen to my child? If God's really a good God, then why did my spouse do this? How did I lose? I thought he loved me. You ever make a deal with God? God, I'll try to be the best Christian I can be for you, and if you just let... See? We think about the way the world thinks about things. And we think about life, and we have people, and the reason that people can't believe outside of the church, and have problem believing that God's a good God, is because the way their life's going. Your life could be falling apart. What happens is, we say, God was really good, and he wouldn't allow this to happen in my life. Isn't that what we think? Even within the church, I've heard Christians ask that same question. I thought God was good, then why is he allowing this to happen in my life? Let's just think about this. We talked about this, I think Wednesday night we were talking, maybe it's Sunday night, I don't remember. It could have been last Sunday. I forget things. It's the weather change. Barometric pressure is causing all kinds of issues. Okay? I'm doing very well. Sugar. Just keep trying. Doing. Okay, here's the thing. Here, let me ask you this question. I completely forgot where I was going. Okay, all right. Muslims. Okay? You think it's bad out here, it gotta be in here. Let me ask you this question. Everybody, the world has what they think about different gods, right? Let's go about the Muslims. God is good, right? God's good. We say it all the time. God's good all the time, God's good. What if the Muslims say that? Because here's the deal, they go, if I blow people up, God will think I'm doing good. What? He's going to reward me for doing good. How about this one? Let's go to a different one. Okay? I just don't want to pick on them. God is very good. Please just pray for me. Please pray for me. Okay? God's very good. I gotta stop the accent, Bruce. Pray for me right now, please. Okay? God's very good. In fact, he's so good, he allows us to come back as other animals. And so we won't eat that cow that's walking through my house right now that's a T-bone steak. I'd rather starve to death on rice. God is good. Isn't that what the other gods, isn't what other religions think about their God? How about the God? The God that we read about in Revelation. The I am that I am, you know, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. How about him? Is our God good? You know, because what happens is we think that when we do good things, that God's going to let us in. God asks us to do good things on earth, you know. Love your neighbor as yourself, and gives us 10 commandments. You follow those things, and everything's good. He'll bless you. I'll tell you, I know a lot of Christians whose life's been a struggle from the moment one. The ones who are really, really committed, even when they're down and out, say, you know what, my life might not be real good right now. But God loves me. Amen. I love him. You know, if you read the Bible talks about everyone being born with a conscience. You and I, we have a conscience. The problem with the good outweighing the bad problem is this. Especially today, people's consciences are different than someone else's. Some of the things that I see here, and I just like, oh, really? They think that's all right? Conscience is different than mine. Okay? Then we have the different religions. I talked about that, you know, you blow people up, that's good. Okay, we have different religions. How about, let us go to this, different Christian, that evangelical Christian denominations say different things. And so if I'm on the outside looking in, I'm going, well, they can't even agree. How about this one? People change. My old pastor used to say this, and boy, it comes back to haunt me all the time. Confession is good for the soul, but bad for the reputation, you know. When I was younger, what I thought was okay and good has changed. You know, I had children, and I had to start realizing, you know, I used to smoke, and I was all right with it until my daughter picked up a crown and acted like she was smoking. And I was like, oh, that's not a good thing. So I stopped, you know. And so then I had these children, and the crazy things I used to do that you'd think, you know what, I could, that looks awesome. Let's go jump off a cliff. And that was, and I go, what was I thinking? I don't want to do. And so as we change, as we mature, and we start doing things, our lives change, and what we think was good changes. So if I'm determined that the good has to outweigh the bad, then there's a couple things I want to know. What's actually good? Who's in charge of it? Who's overseeing the good has to outweigh the bad? Who's dictating what actually means good? What's actually bad? Because it, just in the different religions and just in our lives, it changes. Just think about the technology that you have. How it's changed just in my life. We used to have a rotary phone. You give a phone to teenagers today, they go, what is that? How do you get that thing to... And before that, they just had... Anyway, I don't want to get... Here's the thing. How good is good enough? Especially if everything changes in our life. How good's good enough? Is it 51%? You know the scales got out. Blind justice, okay, 51. You're in. What if it's 70? What if it's 70? You know, you got to hit above 70. 70 and above's passing. You get below 70. Ooh. The scary thing is, if we go off that premise that when we get to heaven, you're at 69, 68. It's too late. And if we're talking about what's going to happen for eternity, shouldn't we know about what's going to happen on this side? Amen. Shouldn't we know what it takes to get to heaven on this side? Amen. Well, here's the thing. Good people get into heaven. We all kind of think that we got to do good things all the time to get to heaven. What if I told you that this guy named Jesus Christ, this Jesus guy, the Messiah, the Son of God, what if I told you that not only did he disagree with good people getting to heaven, he taught the exact opposite? Amen. What? Take your Bibles. Turn to Matthew 5:20. Take the Bibles, Matthew 5:20. I just love it. You know, people say, Pastor, I just can't read the Bible. I get all confused. You got to read it with a little bit of excitement. It's living, okay? You got to get into it. All right, look, here it is. Jesus is talking here, and he says, for I say to you that unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and the Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. Remember what righteousness means? Right with God. Let's just say doing good. Okay, let's just do good. Okay, so here's Jesus. He's talking, and I just love this. This kind of imagine this picture. And this is what Jesus said. He said they're teaching and everybody's asking, how does a person get to heaven? What do us do to get to heaven? Because Jesus is talking about repent, John the Baptist talking about all that stuff. And so what he says is Jesus sitting there talking, and I just got to imagine in my sanctified imagination, here he goes, hey, unless your righteousness surpasses those guys over there, the scribes and the Pharisees, the ones who write the laws, the ones who think they're better than everybody else, the ones that are holier than thou, walking around looking down on us as everybody. They even wrote more laws, not just the Ten Commandments, but they wrote 660 different laws that they had to try to follow, and they follow them to the T. They're the best of the best. And so what happens is Jesus says, unless your righteousness is better than them, you're not getting to heaven. Now, I don't know about you, but here's the thing. It's easy to give up. And if I was sitting in that crowd, and I didn't know that Jesus went on and started talking about other things, if I was sitting in that crowd and I started thinking, those guys right there, they're the best of the best. They know all the laws. They really got things going for them. Look at them. And if you know me, I know me. And if I have to be better than them, I might as well give up now. Because I can't make it. I can't make it on my own. I'm going to fall short. Why? Why do I have to even try to be better than them? Well, let's go and see what the rest of the Bible says. Let's go to same chapter, verse 21 and 22. Look what it says here. You've heard that the ancients foretold you shall not commit murder, and whoever commits murder should be liable to the court. But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother shall be guilty before the court. And whoever says to his brother, you good for nothing, you shall be guilty before the Supreme Court. And whoever says, you fool, shall be guilty enough to go into the fiery hell. Jesus expands on the Ten Commandments, and those Pharisees and everybody talk about walking the walk, talking the talk, and looking down on everybody. Jesus takes it a step further. This is what he says. Hey, let's just talk about murder just for a second. If you get angry enough in your heart and I'm talking to you. Don't think I'm not talking to the person beside you. I'm talking to you. If you get angry enough at someone where you would really like to kill them, in your heart you already committed murder. Bridge Street's just about to send me over that. Okay? Paul, chief of sinners. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Verse 27 and 28. Look what it says here. You have heard that it is said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Now let me just say this, okay, ladies, because I got to tell you, ladies are just as bad as guys. All right? And what Jesus says, let's expand on it. If we in our heart look at a woman and go, oh yeah. You know what? Hey, you've already committed adultery in your heart. When you look at a woman and go, or you guys look at a man, and ladies look at a man and go, oh, he's ripped. No woman has ever said that about me. Look, if we believe that in our heart, if we're going, we have our mind, guess what? Strike two. The Ten Commandments, 2 out of 10. I'm done. I'm already down to 80%. Let's just go on. Let's go talk about honor your father and mother. I'm at a 70. I'm in big trouble. Thou shalt not lie. Bam, 60. What? I hope my good outweighs the bad. I'm in trouble, brother. So are you. How good is good enough? Jesus taught the exact opposite. Taught the exact opposite. Take the Bible through Romans chapter 3. Romans chapter 3, verse 2. Look what it says here. As it is written, there's none righteous, not even one. How many's righteous? Does that mean me? I'm not righteous, right? Does that mean you? You're not righteous, right? None! None righteous. Not even one. None righteous. Go down to verse 20, same chapter. Chapter 3, verse 20. Because by the works of the law, no flesh will be justified in his sight. For through the law comes the knowledge of sin. The Ten Commandments. Come back to that. I've been preaching in Hebrews chapter 8. The Ten Commandments prove that I can't obey the law. Jesus expounded on it, and he even made it so that I understand that if I look at a woman wrong, I commit adultery in my heart. If I get so angry at someone that I like to kill them, and I've actually committed murder, and I could go on and on and on. And the problem is I realize when the law tells me that I can't do it on my own. I will never, ever be good enough to get to heaven. Amen. And neither will you. Amen. You can't work it into heaven. It doesn't work that way. Amen. You cannot be good enough. Go on to Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. Every one of us have fallen short of the glory of God. Every one of us have sinned. We've all sinned, whether you like it or not. Amen. I know that some of you think you're pretty awesome. But here's the problem. God knows what you do in secret. God knows what you're thinking in your heart and in your mind. You might be able to obey all the laws. You know, Pastor, the sign says 55. I do 54. Just to make sure. Guess what? God knows your heart. Amen. You might be a good person. We all like to think we're a pretty good person. We all like to think we're doing a pretty good job at this thing called life. It's tough. Is it not? It is very tough to live this life, especially for a Christian in this world. But only through the grace of God can we do it, right? Amen. Hey, let's go on. Let's go to 6:23. Let's go on to 6:23. Turn over to the right a little bit. Romans chapter 6, verse 23. For the wages of sin is death. Let me just stop there just for a second. The wages of sin is death. Your sin, my sin, earns death. Your wages is death. And so what you're going to get, what that death right there means, that death means a total separation from God. Okay? Total separation from God for eternity. I'm not talking just for a little while. I'm talking eternity. When you go before God and you say, okay, why should I let you in? Because you're a sinner. Your wages have earned you death. Total separation from me. The good news, he doesn't stop there. He doesn't stop right there. Look at the rest of that verse. But the gift of God is eternal life from Jesus God, from Jesus Christ, our Lord. The free gift of God is eternal life. unrighteous, no, not one. For all sin fall short of the glory of God. Jesus said, you got to be more righteous than those people to get into heaven. Proving what he's saying is, listen, you'll never be good enough. They're not good enough to get to heaven. But at the end of verse 23, he says, the free gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. You can never, ever get into heaven on your own merit.
Amen.
It only comes through Jesus Christ.
Amen.
You have to trust Jesus and accept the wages that he paid on the cross for your sins, for my sins, for all sins. How good's good enough? Find out next week. You got to come back. You got to come back next week. But here's the thing. You and I will never be good enough. We have to trust the fact that the law proves that we cannot obey it. Your parents tell you, hey, leave those cookies on there, they're cool, and don't eat them. They're for the Girl Scout troop. They're for this. Don't eat those brownies, Pastor. They're down there for the church. There's always a brownie missing. I just can't help it. But you see, I'm no different than you. We all struggle with that. The law proves that I can't be perfect. And I'll be honest with you, there's a little bit inside of me going, oh, that was a good brownie. I was kind of glad that I went against the law because it was good. We have to trust Jesus that he is not just a way to heaven. Listen to me. He's the only way to heaven.
Amen.
And today you might be sitting here saying, you know what? I don't know about all this religious stuff. I don't know all about this Jesus stuff, but I'm going to tell you what. I've been trying to live good, and I just keep failing. I just keep stumbling. I try to do good, Pastor, and it's just not in me. You know why it's not in you? Because Jesus is not living in you.
Amen.
If you don't have Jesus, the Son of God living in your heart, guess what? You can't do it. There's no way. But yes, you trust Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior, and I'm telling you, he will help you get through it. You're going to stumble from time to time. You're not going to be perfect. But you will stumble. My question is today, are you relying on you? Or do you want to rely on Jesus? And after you die, it's too late.
Amen.
Today, we're going to give a hidden invitation. I'm going to invite you to step out, come down the aisle, and say, Pastor, I want to trust Jesus Christ. I'm tired of doing this on my own. You can say however you want. I want to be a Christian. I've had people come up crying so much that they say, hey, I just need to talk to someone. Guess what? That's fine. We will never embarrass you. We'll walk you to another room and let you make the decision. We'll show you what God's Word says. Maybe you're looking for a church home. We'd love to have you be a part of this church. Come forward and say, hey, I want to be a member of this church. We'll walk you to another room, ask you some questions, fill out some paperwork. Maybe you want to come to the altar and pray. Because listen, Christians, we get messed up sometimes. We think we're trying to do good. You will fail. You will stumble. How about laying in God's hand and say, God, through the Holy Spirit, will you direct me and help me to live a life that honors you?
Amen.
Let's pray. Father God, I come to you right